don't say this often, but I kind of like the show we have set up today.
I do too. I think we
got a good show set up today.
Well, I usually do, but I think you're right. We have a nice structure, a little bit of everything today. Welcome in everyone on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Please comment from wherever. And of course, you can call the Monkey line at 707-4-MONKEY. That's 707-466-6539. What is it about today's show, Johnny, that has you a little bit more pumped up than normal?
Yeah, I think we've got a good variety of a little bit for everybody. And I think people are going to be glad they tuned in tonight. There's good stories. There's a lot of sex going on tonight.
There is.
There's some science. I think we've got some. We'll discuss society and how we use words. And some of our newer features like Twismo and It Wasn't Better Back Then coming up.
And we even have something having to do with sports and Christianity. It's all under this umbrella that we call Mike Molson Mangle the News. So let's begin with the sex. Let's get right to it. Let's get right to the sex here. You have long said, even before we started this incarnation of Mike and Molson, that at some point we're all going to be in a adult content on the internet at some point or another. That's just inevitable with the way we're going. And this story just kind of really backs your case up. Of this comes to us from over in the UK, where an affluent South London neighborhood of Dulwich, known for many things, art galleries, prestigious private schools, but now they have some sex party problems. Yeah. Guests got a Bel Air house in Dulwich in April when it was hired by the naughty events company Heaven's Circle. They said that the residents were less than impressed to learn that the local manor house, just a 6-minute walk from the local college, was being hired out for sex parties. There was a online message board, was brimming with disgust and outrage, and complaints were lodged against the local council because their fine manor had been used for these sex events.
Wow.
Yeah. Here's one resident called Michelle. I was planning my wedding there and was appalled by the setup for those events. So it's not just the sex parties. You can rent that thing out for anything, apparently. When I discovered what was going on, I was disgusted by how they were using the same rooms as playrooms where families are supposed to eat.
You have to disclose that in your Airbnb listing, don't you?
I think you should. I mean, you should have to know that your dining room table may have been used by someone to fornicate on. And that should
absolutely.
be in Airbnb. Yeah. Michelle went on to say that the hygiene and safety concerns are just unacceptable. They're destroying a sacred grade 2 listed building, and it's just not right. These owners need to be held accountable for their actions. It's time for us to stand up and protect our heritage and ensure that these spaces are used appropriately, especially when they should be serving families and the community, not these crazy sex party having people.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing that's the house in the picture from the article. It does have that sort of eyes wide shut look to it, doesn't it? Like there's some sort of fancy rich people are just having sex all day.
Yes, I'm assuming that's what it's all about. In fact, I believe what transpired there was a wax play party stocked with over 2,000 condoms, and so once people found out, it was the local neighbors were not real happy about their local establishment that many people had a wedding reception there being used for what may or may not happen to consummate a wedding that night.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Well, sex parties are becoming more and more popular, and you can't have a party without a DJ. And apparently San Francisco DJs are making some good bank by hosting. They're not hosting, actually. They've been hired to play at these sex parties.
Have sex party? I don't know. I'm out of the loop. I've been married for 17 years with my wife for 22 years. Have sex parties become so ubiquitous now that they need to hire out DJs? Well, is it just like, it's just a sex party without a DJ? How passe?
Yeah.
Like, how can we bring it up a notch?
Well, I mean, I think one of the things about it is that they become so commonplace. It used to be kind of an underground thing that you would, maybe hear about. Right? But now there's just so much that, you can hire a DJ and a caterer. This one DJ J Maximilian, had to politely ask a group of partygoers to not use his DJ gear for support while they were.
Hey, what are you doing? I'm mixing here, right? Mm-hmm. I know you're using the computer for one thing, but I'm actually using it for real work.
The sex parties he DJs are held in mansions, Airbnbs, speakeasies, and warehouses all over the Bay Area.
Out of all those, you show up to a mansion, the classy sex party, like over in London. Okay. Airbnb, got it. But the warehouse sex party, really? Just showing up, be like, what do you got? I got a couple of folding tables, a DJ, here's the bowl of condoms, and we got some punch. Have at.
Over the years, he's perfected his musical approach to setting the mood. He keeps things relatively slow, playing nothing over 120 beats per minute. He avoids distracting vocals and sticks to stripped-down dark chords. Since dancing isn't the point, he prefers to play something down-tempo and chill. By the way, this article has supplied a orgy playlist from Spotify that we'll link to if you want to have your own party. Starts off with.
I was gonna say, can I attempt to see if I have the sex DJ chops? I'm assuming I'm going to be way off because I'm a romantic, right? So I'm the guy who's going to be like, hey, I'm that guy, Marvin Gaye, sexual healing. Something, the Motown, maybe a Teddy Pendergrass in there somewhere. Yeah. Al Green, Let's Stay Together. Maybe some Eve 6 in there. Here's to the Night, for something that isn't in the boomer generation.
This one starts off with Daddy, followed by Waves, followed by Slow Down. Then Everything Goes.
Okay.
Getting There From Here.
Oh, good Lord. It's so much. He's just putting together a sentence.
How do I get from there to here? I want to get my there into your here.
And you're here. Oh, you're here, all right, sir. You're at the warehouse sex party with DJ Maximilian.
Play, Unholy, One Time. So yeah, those are some of the hits.
No Sabrina Carpenter, no Espresso, no nothing like that. No Hit Me Baby One More. I guess that would be too fast.
Well, there's another DJ Fairplay, who regularly plays parties, says people will yell out that they love this song right in the middle of screwing. She says she
How invested are you then in the actual act? If you're like, oh man, I love this. It's Journey. Don't Stop Believing. Oh man, hold on a second.
On any given night, 3 to 6 DJs typically tag in over the course of the orgy. Several times a year.
Lord.
I know. 3 That's insane.
6? Oh, what is that a Sting sex party with tantric stuff going on? You need 6 DJ sets?
Several times a year, she DJs at a 300-person orgy.
Oh, you're going to get a lot of that there or here to there if you're going to that one. That's almost too many.
They answer the question as to whether or not they watch while things are going on. She said, this one person says, I try not to stare too much. I look at my laptop, but if I see them respond to the music and then, go faster and harder and sweatier, then I know I'm doing my job.
Are you?
I don't
Or do you need to bring it back at that point? Are you getting it? If you go, this is going to sound terrible, but if you go too hard, too fast, do you ruin the next DJ set?
Mm-hmm.
If you're like, no one wants to be the intermission of the orgy, right? Hey, now bring it out, DJ Maximilian. He's going to play the Beach Boys Kokomo here as everyone replenishes their fluids.
DJ JK47 plays 5 or 6 events a year, ranging from
JK47. Get that out of here.
Ranging from intimate 10-person gatherings to weekend-long sex fests involving 400 people.
Ugh. It's like Firefest.
And
why are you hiring a DJ for 10 people? Can't you just put together your own playlist at that point?
Probably.
That seems superfluous.
But there are some DJs in this article who say that kind of what you say is that they go for the R&B standards, the things that you would expect. They seem to zero in on that. But yeah, it's an interesting job. You get called, you go, well, money's money. I'll take it.
Cue up the Love Shack. Oh, Shack shimmy. Well, here's someone who's not, I guess he wants it to be his own personal orgy. Let me introduce you, as you see, the man who calls himself a master baiter.
Oh.
Let me introduce you to 46-year-old Keenan Charles Pearson of Seattle, Washington. He has been arrested again for allegedly masturbating inside a Seattle grocery store. According to the documents, he continually commits sex acts in public despite multiple convictions for sex crime. How is this guy still on the loose, is what I want to know. How many is too, what is the cutoff for pulling out your wang and just going to town in public before you go, sir, you can't be a part of our society anymore?
There's been a lot of talk about due process lately, and normally I'm in favor of it, but I think if you announce to the world, my name is Master Baiter, I think due process goes out the window. I think you just go straight to jail.
I think we all could concur with that. Yeah. Mr. Pearson here, the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office filed 2 new charges of felony indecent exposure against him this month. God. Here's what they had to say in the legal brief. The defendant is a prolific public masturbator. What do you mean prolific? Don't give him credit for it.
What was the word that we had a couple of weeks ago on that nude beach? Was it rampant?
Yes, rampant masturbation. Now we have a prolific masturbator.
They're both in Seattle.
Yes. He has 3 convictions for felony indecent exposure, 1 misdemeanor indecent exposure for similar conduct. The defendant has demonstrated an inability to follow court orders and appear in court. He is required to register as a sex offender, but is not in compliance with that obligation. Furthermore, the defendant has had a warrant issued for his failure to appear on over 40 occasions.
Good God.
And has 2 outstanding warrants at the time of this writing. Pearson's most recent arrest happened at a grocery store in Seattle's Chinatown. According to an arrest report, 911 callers reported a man.
Grocery store?
Yeah, in Chinatown. According to an arrest report, 911 callers reported a man masturbating in front of a customer, including get this guy. Mr. Masturbator. Oh, Johnny, get this.
I don't want to. I don't want to get any of it.
Guess who responded to the call of the whacker in the grocery store? Any guesses?
No.
Sergeant Johnson. I crap you not.
Yeah, well, I'm glad he's on the case.
Yeah, Sergeant Johnson.
That's his beat, so to speak.
Who's got the public whacking beat? I don't know, Sergeant Johnson. Yeah, he'll pull it out. Yeah, he'll fill it up with a caseload. Sergeant Johnson asked for Mr. Pearson's name, and he identified himself as Master Baiter. An arrest report states. When Sergeant Johnson asked him what he was doing inside, he admitted to officers that he was stroking inside the store.
Oh, God.
While speaking with officers, he was actively looking at women and saying that they should be in his, quote, show. Oh. So Sergeant Johnson's on the scene, and this guy is just like, yeah, I'm in here stroking. Hey, you should be in my show. That's not a compliment, is it?
No, it isn't. He asked me.
Yeah. Back in March, he was arrested for whacking it inside a Safeway and told deputies he was watching women in yoga pants inside the store.
Oh, man.
For that one, he spent 325 days in jail, and he was released in August of 2025. In a plea recommendation, a public defender said he's homeless, used drugs, and has mental health issues.
Man,
so
you really...
That's why he's...
Yeah, all right. Okay.
That's why he's whacking things.
You got to be pretty prolific to go from just doing it at home to now I've got to involve other people to now. I mean, yeah, it really... Yeah.
It never says what aisle of the grocery store, though, just that he was in a grocery store.
Why does this matter?
I don't know. I don't know. Was it in the meat section? Was it in, what section? Was he going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Mm-hmm. I don't know, Johnny.
I don't know.
So, yes, Mr. Pearson should be put away for quite a while. Then thank you to Sergeant Johnson for making the masturbator put it away.
We appreciate people who are diligent and work hard, just like this particular news reporter in Albany, New York, who stayed on the job even though she was in labor.
I saw this and I thought, I enjoy my job, but I don't know if I enjoyed enough to where, knowing I'm in a medical condition, where I'm just like, I'm just going to stick it out. I'm going to do my best.
And let's watch the video because it's pretty remarkable how calm and matter of fact she is while she is apparently either in labor or getting really close to being in labor.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm Olivia Jakewith.
And I'm Julia Dunn. We do have some breaking news this morning. Literally. Yes. Olivia's water has broke.
That's
right.
And
she is anchoring the news now in active labor.
Early labor.
We've been doing the contractions. She's now, timing her contractions.
We'll see. I'm going to pay attention.
2 minutes apart?
No. There was one, but it's been a few minutes since then, so we're still in good shape.
Her decision to stay on the desk, by the way.
Look at what it says. Days past due date.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I know. So we're thinking maybe today.
I'm happy to be here, and I'll stay on the desk for as long as I possibly can, but if
I love how everyone is just rolling with it.
Yeah.
Like the graphics department's like, let's put up the due date over here in the corner of days past labor. She's saying, it's 2 minutes. Ow. But that was a few minutes ago. That was just the one contraction. Do you think it's dedication, Johnny, or do you think she wants to go viral for this?
I don't know, man. You're talking about giving birth. I mean, a lot of women will go on vacation as soon as they, as soon as their due date approaches and says, all right, I'm off. Not vacation, go on maternity leave.
Yeah.
But she's like, I've got a job to do. There's news in Albany that needs to be reported upon.
And I do love, to your point, her calm demeanor of, hey, co-anchor, tap the brakes, right? You're not going to have to deliver this baby. I'm going to be here until I can't be here.
Yeah.
I disappear.
We're so happy for you. She's 2 days overdue, so she wants this baby.
That's right.
Baby out.
Our other top story this morning, I guess
Olivia's
I'm officially in early labor.
Yeah, Olivia's water broke, and she's still here. She's been doing the entire show. This is her decision to do this.
I'd rather be at work than at the hospital.
Do they legally have to say that? Be like, she's not being held against her will. This is her decision. Legal disclaimer. Right. She could have gone to the hospital now, but we are making sure that that we have to get that out there.
I mean, if I'm watching it, and you and I have both worked for some shitty broadcast companies, and it's not out of the realm of possibility that there would have been somebody behind the glass saying, sorry, you've got a shift this morning. That's not crazy.
You're right. No, it's not. We don't have any backup anchors to call in right now. The weekend person is off doing other things. So you're going to have to sit tough. That's tough for you. Bad timing.
But I thought this comment was amazing. She says she'd rather be at work than at the hospital.
I'm officially in early labor.
Yeah, Olivia's water broke, and she's still here. She's been doing the entire show. This is her decision to do this.
I'd rather be at work than at the hospital.
Something you'll never hear come out of my mouth. Well, I mean, I guess if it's work or the hospital, I'd rather be at work.
Right.
But I mean,
I'd rather
after we're done with
the time here.
After.
Yeah, I mean, I really, though? I mean, it's a baby. You're having a baby. Wouldn't you rather go have the baby than sit next to this goof?
I mean, she'd rather it be a dire situation she could jump the line. Because right now where she's at, probably be sitting in that gown where the backside is open and you're sitting there and you're just kind of trying to find something on the TV in the hospital room. So I kind of understand where she's coming from in that particular situation. But the nonchalance of it is the thing that really gets me of like, I'd just rather be here than the hospital.
I'd rather be at work than have my arm amputated. But I think if I'm a new mother and it's like, hey, it's time to meet this baby, you go.
Well, yeah, we don't know how close they are to a hospital either, to be honest. I'm assuming relatively fast for them to be able to continue to do the newscasts.
I don't know. There's a highway right behind them.
That's true.
After we're done with this show, you should probably go.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Oh, yay, Olivia.
I'll do my best.
High
which
five, girl.
means
Whole
maybe
show. Look at that. 3 hours of news.
That's right.
In contractions. I think that's a first for CBS 6.
All right. Well, hopefully I don't see you tomorrow, but make sure you join Julia.
Okay. 3 hours?
She did the whole thing?
Her water broke. I haven't had kids. And I know that labor can take a very long time, but I thought the water breaking situation was we probably should head to the hospital at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. That's,
I don't know.
I mean, that's things
3
are,
hours
things are
later.
moving.
Yeah. And I love how her co-anchor seems way more nervous and excited about all of this than the actual woman having the baby.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if I'm her husband, I probably drive to the TV station and just say, we're going now. I appreciate your work ethic.
Come in like the Gong Show janitor guy and just kind of brush her off the set. Like, we got to get going. Or I'm sure with Apollo, the big hook comes and just pulls her off the stage.
So
kudos
good
to her.
For her. Congratulations.
Did the baby end up coming out okay?
I don't know.
I assume the baby was born in the hospital, or was it in a control room somewhere?
I hope they wouldn't have posted this video if something horrible happened. I mean, I don't think that would be appropriate.
Walking out of the parking lot, the baby just fell out on the sidewalk. And in other news, baby born in parking lot of news.
Mm-hmm. Can we sponsor it? I bet we can sponsor it.
I'm sure we can. This baby update brought to you by.
It's that time of year. Here we are.
Yeah. Hurricane season is starting, I believe, next week. Everyone's all a buzz about it down in these parts where I'm from because it's pertinent information. When I first moved down here, it was like we had, I think, Helene just missed us, and then Milton was the one that was one of the bigger ones they've experienced in Central Florida in a very long time. So
do you have
now
a
everybody's kit? No, not yet. Milton was the biggest they had in like 20 years around these parts. I went out and did the whole thing of like, I'm going to get all this water because I'm not going to have power for days and days. And it's better to be prepared than under-prepared, but I still have water bottles from Milton, and I still have a couple of noodle from Milton that I have not eaten yet. So I need to maybe restock a little bit.
Well, this is our annual prediction of how bad will the hurricane be based on the name of the hurricane.
Very scientific stuff.
Yeah, because you can tell something about a person based on their name, and I think we can tell something about a hurricane based on the hurricane name.
Yeah. All right. So let's go through. We'll go through each one of these. It's something we've done for years, both on the radio and off. So we start with Andrea. Innocuous.
Not worried about
the first
Andrea.
one is never the big one. The first one, the tropics haven't been percolating enough for the first one to really be a bad one. So Andrea, not so much.
Not worried about Barry.
About Barry.
Barry's fine.
Yeah. Barry just kind of as well.
Barry seems like a nuisance.
Yes.
I think if I knew someone named Barry, they're a nuisance.
Barry's going to come over and be like, hey, can I borrow your car? Or, I got something going on in my house. Can I stay here for a couple nights? Or, you got a couple extra bucks I'm sorry, I didn't bring any cash with me, and they don't take cards here. I'm Barry.
Barry doesn't know when to leave the party.
Yes, you are correct. You're very correct. So Barry doesn't bother.
What do we have? What is that? Chantal?
Chantal maybe, don't underestimate Chantal.
Yeah.
Chantal could kind of be a little bit Karen-y in that if she doesn't get what she wants, Chantal will let you know it.
Okay.
So maybe mark one for Chantal of a possibility. I'm not saying it's going to be huge, but keep an eye on Chantal.
Maybe we should attach a category. What category is Chantal going to get to?
Oh, yeah. Chantal could be a 2. I think a 2, probably more likely a 1, maybe to a 2.
That's what Chantel. Now, Dexter worries me.
Correct, because of the show.
I think because of the show.
Yeah, and Dexter's Laboratory. Both of those Dexters could bring some chaos. So I'm going to go category 3 for Dexter.
I'm going category 3. It seems kind of like a hardy, like a farmhand would be named Dexter.
And they're going to reap their revenge. Yeah. And I think Dexter will be our first major one.
I think so. Yeah. I think so. I think when Dexter comes around, you got to prepare yourself. And I do have funny feelings about Aaron, and I don't know why.
I don't. Aaron doesn't bug me. Even with the spelling, Aaron doesn't bug me. Neither does the next two either. It is a girl Aaron, but I'm more worried about Chantel than I am Aaron. Okay. Especially with Dexter in between. Okay. That's the biggest thing I'm worried about. I'm not worried about Ferdinand. I know he's a bull.
We might split on this, but I'm saying Aaron is a 4.
A 4?
Yeah.
I'm saying Aaron doesn't even get to a cat 1.
You don't even think it becomes a hurricane?
I think she sputters out, and she just cyclone Aaron just flutters away.
I'm with you, Ferdinand. Not a problem.
No, and I don't really feel that way about Gabrielle either, or Gabrielle, I should say. Doesn't really scare me too much. The next one kind of does, though.
Humberto.
Right. It's just exotic. It's Humberto. Humberto is going to be, for me, cat 2. Could go up to a 4, but I think definitely Humberto is going to. He's got just some swag. Like Humberto's got some swag to it. Like it's not going to just peter out. It's Humberto.
Humberto's going to be one of those ones that comes through, swings around, and hits again. You know, it's going to do one of those weird loop-de-doop things that sometimes they do.
You thought that was gone, but Humberto is back.
Yeah, Humberto
just
never
when you
leaves.
Thought that was gone, Humberto is back. Humberto never leaves. Just like the berry.
Imelda.
4. I think 4. If Humberto doesn't get you, Imelda will. I just think Imelda Marcos in my mind. And so I'm very, out of all the lists, all we've talked about thus far, Imelda scares me the most.
Imelda,
right now.
Yeah. And it feels like one of those names that they're going to retire.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's what happens. It feels like it's going to be. It has the gravitas that it'll be bad enough that this will be the last year they can ever use Imelda.
Yeah, I got no problem with Jerry's going to be nice. He's just going to fly right by. Jerry's not going to be an issue.
And despite the connotation that comes with the name Karen, not an issue this year.
All bluster, right. No real follow through. No follow through.
That's exactly right.
Lorenzo, I would be more worried about if Humberto wasn't already there. Lorenzo maybe gets cat 1, maybe.
Lorenzo hits New England.
Yes. That, you know what? Good call.
Lorenzo hits New England, and the people up there get really uncomfortable because it's a Latin name.
Yeah, because it's Lorenzo.
Right.
It's like Falcon Crest. Lorenzo Lamas back in the day. There's a deep hole for you. Melissa. I know a lot of nice Melissas. It doesn't really do anything for me. Nestor is a long-eared donkey. I don't know if Nestor really scares me either, to be honest. Any thoughts on you, Melissa or Nestor?
Nestor, I have a feeling I'm going to put between a 1 and a 2 on Nestor, just because it's a name I've never heard before.
You never heard Nestor, long-eared donkey?
I mean, I've heard it, but I've never bumped into anybody. How many Nestors do you know?
0. I knew a Norbert and a Norberto, but I didn't know a Nestor. Here's the one that scares me the most next as we get to the final one. Olga. That is a cat 5 going to wreck shop.
Olga, cat 5, New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to say it.
Unfortunately, I hate to say that too, but Olga just is going to bear down on somebody. I don't know where it is. Maybe the Panhandle, maybe here, but there's no way Olga doesn't inflict some damage on someone. Yeah, that's just the name. Like, You just say the name Olga, and everybody watching, would it be the quickie that they watch later on or listening right now, you all have a vision in your head, and you go, I don't want any part of that.
Yep. Pablo sounds nice.
Yeah.
Pablo's a tropical storm.
Yeah. Rebecca, the spelling throws me for a loop a bit.
Spelling, yeah. That's the thing that's got me, too.
Normally, I would have no problem with Rebecca, but that odd spelling makes me feel like Cat, too.
I think so. And
then...
Go ahead.
Sebastian also has a weird spelling, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. Yeah, you're right.
With an E in there.
You're right. Yeah, that is weird.
I don't really have a problem with Sebastian, though.
I don't either. And, well, go ahead. I'm gonna make a prediction after you get through the last three.
Okay. Tanya could go either way, but I'm not too concerned. Van, I'm definitely not concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
That just seems like Van just seems like the stooge of one of the 80s villains in Pretty in Pink. Right?
Yes.
Like you got the main guy, and then there's Van is standing next to him like, but what about it there, Kip? Shut up, Van. And then Van just goes away with tail between his legs. And then Wendy bringing up the rear, maybe a Cat 1. But I think of delicious burgers and Frosties when I think Wendy, and that can't put any... That's not going to inflict damage on anyone.
My final prediction is the season wraps up with Rebecca, and we don't go any further.
Okay, I can see that. I will. I'm going to do the old. I'm going to do the old Price is Right, and I'm going to go. I'll wrap up at Sebastian. Okay. I will take one more after Rebecca. Mark it down. Cut. Print. Mark it down. Olga's going to bring some hell on people.
And we commit to, as these hurricanes or tropical storms crop up, we'll revisit at least the segment where the name is and see how we're doing through the year. If that's not a reason to tune into this shitty show, I don't know what is.
Hey, that's what's called stringing you along, right? Hey, it's sweep week. We got to go back to the... So now every time a hurricane or a tropical storm hits, you're going to think of us and be like, are they right or were they wrong? We'll see.
Here's an interesting collection of words from a Reddit thread. What word makes you cringe hard? And you see these things from time to time, and a lot of them are the ones that we usually get when people say irregardless or that kind of thing. But this one kind of interested me.
Moist.
Moist is one that typically comes up, which I maintain that moist really isn't a problem, but people have said it's a problem, and so it's caused a snowball effect.
I think you're right. It's a chicken and an egg situation.
I think it's an echo.
Yeah, I think so too. Comment wherever you're watching from, whether it be on Facebook, YouTube, or on Twitch. Also, we have the monkey line if you want to call in with a word that makes you cringe hard. That's 7074-MONKEY or 707-466-6539. So what did Reddit have to say? Reddit, by the way, the nexus of the internet. Love Reddit. What were some of the examples people gave?
So here were some of the ones that popped up high on the list, saying hubby, hubs, or wifey. I'm going to give them that one.
I don't care for any of those. Like anyone who says, "Oh, this is my hubby" or "This is my wifey," like, no,
bad deal.
No.
And I tell you what, I'll even add to that is if they're in your phone as hubs or hubby.
Oh no, you can't have it. You can't have it as hubs. Who's calling? Oh, it's my hubs calling or my wifey calling. They have names. Yeah. Like my wife's name is her name in my phone, right? And the same vice versa.
Yeah, I made the decision years ago to just put everybody's full name in. No nicknames, no cute names, nothing. Just if that's your name, that's your name. Otherwise, I'm gonna forget. I'll get confused. Like it's just your name.
Oh, really? Yeah. I don't go that far.
No?
I will put reminders afterwards. So like if I met someone somewhere, I'll be like Bruce from wherever I met them, or Janet from wherever, just to remind me like, that's who that is. By the way, kudos to my wife. She goes a step beyond It's not just my name. It's ICE. So it's in case of emergency and then my name. So that if God forbid something happens, they go through the phone and be like, call that person.
Yeah. I don't want to answer that call.
No.
Unalive. To refer to somebody who was dead. Yeah. Unalive.
That's terrible. Why do we need that word?
Don't need that word.
We have a better one.
People are tired of Bay.
Yeah, Bay's kind of come and gone.
It is. I mean, it had its moment, but I think it had its moment like almost 10 years ago. And the fact that it still sort of creeps up is a little weird.
Yeah, you don't realize how old Bay is until you try to use Bay in a sentence with someone who's actually down with the modern vernacular, and they look at you as if you said dickety four.
and with as prevalent as Bay was, I thankfully didn't really encounter a lot of people who referred to people as Bay. So I'm grateful for that.
Yes, I instead have encountered more people who have stuck with the more traditional boo. That's my boo, not my Bay. Boo was there for a while, then Bay took over. Now it's back to boo, I think.
Is boo and are boo and Bay analogous?
Yeah.
Synonymous?
Yeah. Yeah. My boo is my lady or my boo, or you're my Bay.
I see. It's short for it's kind of short for baby, I assume. Just kind of like you're my friend.
Well, baby or like baby mama or baby daddy. That's my Bay.
Yeah.
They kind of they had no use for all the other letters because it was so difficult. So
I guess
we have to go with Bay instead. I'm glad it's gone away.
Yeah, as am I. Next on the list, potty, panties, or undies.
Then what do you call your undergarments if not panties or undies?
Underwear.
No, those are your undies, man.
Yeah.
I got no problem with undies, but I do have a problem with potty if you're over the age of, I don't know, after getting potty trained.
Yeah. I don't know that there's a way to say panties.
That's not creepy.
I don't know.
I'm right there with you.
I don't know if there's a way to say panties without it sounding sexual or weird or creepy.
Correct.
It's both sexual and creepy at the same time.
At the same time. Yeah. It's a reason why a lot of guys are afraid to go into Victoria's Secret. You can't go, hey, there's a certain type of panties my wife wants me, or my Bay wants me to pick up here. It's like, no, it's underwear. So,
if you are invoking vacay or fry-yay, you're out.
Fry-yay. Oh, God. Fry-yay is one every once in a while I will use unironically or ironically, I guess. And I immediately want to punch myself right in the nuts after I type it. I go, what did I just do?
Yeah.
Like, hey, Rebecca Black, pump the brakes on that.
Yeah, you can stop doing that now, Mike.
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay.
Prego and preggers doesn't need to exist.
I never understood that either. It just sounds, I don't want to say it sounds, prego sounds insulting, or it's a pasta sauce.
Right. It's like we're trying to make it cute.
Yeah. And it doesn't work that way. Oh, they're so preggers.
And interestingly enough, a lot of people just don't like the word that makes them cringe is the word cringe. That we're over the word cringe. That's so cringe, or here's a cringe moment. That maybe it's time to just retire that one. We've given cringe all we can give it.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that one. Comment
below. Add to the list.
Not on the list, cool beans. I got no use for cool beans.
Right. Now, hey, I am on board, literally and figuratively, with what Turkey is discussing here. The idea that passengers who unbuckle before the plane stops or get up into the aisle before the door is open might be facing a fine.
They should. That is always the worst part of the trip, is when you land and all of a sudden everyone stampedes towards the front. I hate the SOBs that will walk into the plane and put their luggage in like row 4, right in the overhead,
then keep walking.
And then they go all the way to the friggin' back.
Yeah.
And then the poor people who are in row 4 have no place to put their luggage because dipshit back there is like, well, I'm going to run the front of the plane. I got to get my luggage. And it's like, just everybody calm the F down.
Now, I've not seen this happen here in the U.S. of people who are actually getting up and headed for the doors before the plane stops. I think we all know the rule on that, but apparently that's an issue in Turkey. It's proposed that airlines announce to passengers they must remain seated even after the seatbelt sign has gone off until it is their turn to leave the aircraft. So what they're saying is, yeah, I know, that you don't get up until the row before you gets up. Because it serves really no purpose.
I think it should be treated like a. If you ever gone to a wedding where the bride and groom come up the aisle and address each pew as they come in and out, I think that's what the flight attendant should do. They should come to you, kind of like a receiving line. They get to you. Oh, thank you for the flight. Thank you for the flight. Then you file out. Then the next aisle files out, and nice and orderly.
I mean, I get it. Your back is all tight and your butt's falling asleep and you want to at least kind of stand or stretch or something. Okay. But man, just the rush to get in the aisle and I always feel bad whenever they make an announcement that says, hey, we got somebody on here who's got a tight connection. Would you be so kind as to just sort of sit back and let this person get off? Nobody does. It's like, screw you.
I do, but you're right. Everyone else is like, I'm already here. So, you should have timed it better. It's like, can you cut him a break, please?
And I mean, the door isn't open. You can't go anywhere. Even if you get to the front, you can't go anywhere.
And then they get indignant because they can't go anywhere.
Right.
And then they're start yelling at everybody else like, oh, open the door. Because there's the people who are taking their time, realizing they can't go anywhere. And then by the time the door opens and now they stand up to try to get their luggage, everyone is massed in the front that they can't get to their luggage. And then people bitch at them. It just becomes utter chaos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've seen people get frustrated when the jet bridge hasn't even attached yet. It's like, it's like, hey, it's got to roll. Give it a second.
Yeah, exactly. Idiots.
They're also making moves to crack down on gate lice, those people who hover by the desk with their luggage in hand, wanting to get on board first. American Airlines is trying some new technology to enforce boarding groups and cut queue jumping at the gate, and some other things that are at play there. But I like this. I like that people are getting fined and hopefully shamed.
They should be. Their photo then should be placed at that airport and be like, this person is a jerk.
Yeah.
They cannot be at an exit row or whatever it may be. They have to stay till the end. Like, be kept late after class.
Totally agree. This is such a good story.
Oh, yes. I love this one. There's not a lot to it, but basically these two nuns are on a local television show in Brazil. And what transpires next is it starts as if the usual Catholic singing, and then all of a sudden it's like Biz Markie is a nun. Like, it just, the human beatbox over there, Biz Markie, as I like to say it fancy like, just breaks it down.
That was the best beatboxer you could come up with, was Biz Markie.
Who else? Who else are you going to put out there? Justin Timberlake?
There's probably somebody in the last 4 years. I don't know. All right, let's watch this.
Okay. Look at that.
Yes.
I mean, look at how they're getting down. That's like on the street corner back in the day. That could be a scene from Breakin'.
That is all right, man. I like that. They are getting down. Good for them.
We need more of that in the world.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't you go to church if you thought that was just going to randomly bust out?
Right. If you knew that it would start with a hymn and there's a chance that the priest and the other nun are going to be doing like their Turbo and Ozone dance, or Kelly from Breakin', I'm down with that. It's fantastic.
I am too. Man, I love the priest or the friar or whatever. I don't know what his stage is in the church, but man, he can't. The spirit has moved him. He's got to get up.
I love how the other hype nun, I'm going to call her, over on the other side, who's not doing the singing. I love how she's just kind of doing generic dancing. Like, I mean, it's in rhythm, but it's kind of generic swaying. But when the beat kicks in from the beatbox nun, she goes, "Oh yeah, now it's time to go. Get the cardboard out. Shit's about to go down.
Make a joyous noise unto the Lord."
Generic, Carlton, hit it. And then look at the fast beat. And give it up for the priest. He gets it right away. He's like,
he's in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
That's
good
awesome.
For them.
That should be your clip of the day. If you're feeling crappy, if nothing else from this crap show, watch that clip. Find it on YouTube when you're feeling bummed out. Just be like, you know what? No, there's still good in the world. There's a Brazilian beatboxing nun and her b-boy posse with her.
Yeah, how can you not smile when you're watching that, man? That kicks ass.
Exactly. Just the way the priest, he's like, all right, I'm watching.
Yeah, he's in it. He's got it.
He's like, yeah. He's like, all right, now boom, I'm in. There's like double Dutch jump roping. I got this.
Yeah,
that's amazing. That's amazing. I want to do that down. If I ever go back to church, when I get communion, I want to dance my way back down the aisle to get back to my pew with that.
Exactly. Let's talk baseball.
Yeah, I quickly wanted to get to this story here. This is fantastic. This fan got hit by a foul ball. He's in the luxury box, and now he's suing the Rockies. Now, everybody knows that when you have a ticket to a game that's always like in the legalese on the back of it or whatever. I don't even know if there's physical tickets anymore. But long story short, you're basically signing a waiver that if you get hit, it's not on the baseball team. The best part about this, though, was that in his lawsuit, he basically says that the Rockies are so crappy as a team. If they were better, I would have actually been paying attention to the damn game.
That him getting hit was their fault because they were just such a limp team that he couldn't. There was nothing to watch, and so he turns his head, and he was up in a box though. I mean, it wasn't even out in the stands.
Was in a 100 level seating at the club boxes. It was the bottom of the first inning. In his lawsuit, he was in a private box suite as a guest of the company that had rented the luxury box. His lawsuit describes the baseball hitting him directly in the right eye and face, causing catastrophic and permanent injuries. He's suing under the Colorado Baseball Spectator Safety Act of 1993. But in his lawsuit, he does say that the Rockies' performance, noting a particularly poor showing on May 10th against the San Diego Padres, and said the team's record has, quote, contributed to a game day environment that makes stadium culture in which socializing, dining, and business networking have become the primary focus for many attendees. So no one's paying attention to your shitty product on the field. We're just there. It's kind of like a bar, and you just happen to have a game in the background. And so that's on you, Rockies.
Okay, but you know what? If I'm the defense attorney, then my argument is, well, what were you doing there in the first place? If it's such a god-awful team, why did you even go?
Well, truth. And it's the bottom of the first inning. You're already that fucking bored.
Yeah,
that's true. Got hit. It wasn't like it was the middle of the sixth and it was a pitching change and they were down 14-0. It was the bottom of the first inning and you're already not paying attention. So while I appreciate the argument, I don't think it has a lot of legal standing.
No, I don't think so either. And I don't know, man. If I hear a crack of a bat, my eyes are going skyward. I just don't. I'm amazed at the number of people, especially with phones in their hands, who are completely oblivious to where the ball is at any given point, man. It's just like that thing can come flying anytime.
Out in the bleachers in Wrigley, which is kind of just like a party atmosphere, I would always make sure I would tell my wife, who's not a baseball fan, when certain batters were up, like in the right field bleachers, when Kyle Schwarber or Rizzo's up, I'm like, pay attention. Yeah, because this ball could be smoked out here at any moment. Also, by the way, he goes on to say that the Colorado Rockies should expect people in the luxury suites are less attuned to the game and therefore more susceptible to injury from conditions that were not reasonably accounted for in the stadium's design and maintenance. So he's saying, hey, listen, people in the luxury box aren't here for baseball. They're here just to hang out. So it's on you, Rockies. Your crap product and your crap craftsmanship is the reason why I got hit in the face.
Why are you even at the stadium? Why don't you just go to a nice restaurant with a big screen TV? And, I mean, if you're not there to watch the game, what are you doing?
Right. I understand you hear luxury box. You're like, ooh, free food or whatever it may be. But you're right. At the core of it, you're at a baseball game. At the core, that's the reason why you're there. And if you don't give a crap about baseball, then don't be in the box in the first place.
It is time for one of our new features here on Mike and Molson called It Wasn't Better Back Then. Now, one of the things that happens so often on the internet is whenever something gets posted from days gone by, there's always a slew of comments of people saying it was so much, if only things would go back to the way they were. And we're here to say, no, it wasn't necessarily better back then because we forget, we have amnesia about the crap that was out there, or things that just lasted for a moment. We remember the big things. You know, this week we're talking about a TV show, and as you can see, it's has to do with the Brady Bunch. And so, yeah, you think about TV in the 90s, and there's some incredible shows from then, Friends and Seinfeld and X-Files and ER, and I mean, just it goes on and on. I mean, it was really a pretty strong time for television, but it wasn't better.
Correct. Especially now, I did not realize this came back as a possible sitcom. I knew that the Bradys had a couple of TV movies of a very special Brady Christmas and all that, but I did not realize they tried to jumpstart the series again.
This was right on the heels of A Very Brady Christmas, which actually did very well when it came out in 1988, and they were going to do a follow-up made-for-TV movie, and Sherwood Schwartz said, hey, I got a better idea. Why don't we go ahead and just make it a TV show?
Oh, God.
Here's the story of the family Brady.
Oh, my God.
A mom and dad with all their children grown. Our kids are now pursuing their dreams with families of their own. When our kids were small, their problems all were smaller.
Okay, can you stop it for a moment?
It's a minute long intro. I'm not nearly done here, but go ahead.
Oh, holy shit! Sorry. It is quintessential that era. That is a TGIF-esque opening right there. Yeah. That is like just when it started, you go, oh, that's 90s. That's 90s sitcom for the family right there. It's painting by the numbers. And now they're shoehorning in lyrics to try to fit the original theme that has now been 95'd.
Which they have slowed down by about 40% for some reason.
Yes.
You know, the original theme is nice and peppy and it's done in about 30 seconds. This one isn't. We're only to Cindy.
And why are you starting with the not Marsha as the first person out of Mike and Florence Henderson? Carol, pardon me.
Since the family grew, the Bradys, oh, the Bradys, that's how the Brady Bunch became the Brady
they always the Bradys? That makes no sense. They were always the Bradys. What do you mean? That's how the Brady Bunch became the Bradys. They were always the Bradys. It's not like their last name was Brady Bunch. It was always the Bradys. I'm pissed off at this when I shouldn't be, but that just makes me angry.
You're actually, yes, I understand your anger, but you're zeroing in on stuff that, compared to what you're about to learn about this show, doesn't matter at all.
Okay, well, I know Greg's a doctor. Yeah. I know that much, and it looks like Cindy is on the radio or some sort.
So you asked about Marcia. The original Marcia had just had a baby, while Maureen McCormick had just had a baby, so she couldn't be in this reboot TV show. So they had to replace her. But here's what you need to know about all the characters. First of all, Mike is now a politician. He started a political career instead of being an architect. You know, he's a wealthy architect, but decides he wants to go into politics for some strange reason.
They were ahead of their time. They're ahead of their time. You don't need to have any political chops to be in politics. They were ahead of their time. By the way, can we go to Greg? Greg, comment from Greg real quick to see if he's correct.
You're low.
Oh, okay. Please
Greg
continue.
Greg says 3 to 4 episodes. You're low.
So the
character Greg is now an obstetrician who's married to a nurse. They have a son played by Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Here's a name you remember from the 90s.
Jesus, I didn't notice that.
Okay. Here we go. Strap in. Okay. Bobby is a budding auto racer, but his career ends abruptly in the first episode after an accident leaves him paraplegic.
Oh, you can't go full paraplegic on the first episode. You got to gently lead into that.
Mm-hmm. Peter breaks up with his fiancée, who we met in A Very Brady Christmas, and begins dating the abusive daughter of the rival of Mike, the political rival of Mike.
Okay. The abusive daughter. Ah, gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Jan is barren.
Oh, and dude, that's too many medical conditions in one damn show. You already got a paraplegic. You already have divorce, and now you got to throw in a bear. Like, they're just throwing stuff at the wall.
So she and her husband adopt a Korean girl named Patty.
Of course they do. Of course they do. Why would they not? They're like, oh, Mr. Papadopoulos already got the little African American kid. We can't have that. So what's next?
Marcia is a stay-at-home mother battling alcoholism.
Jesus Christ! How many more things can you throw to the dartboard?
Her husband Wally cannot keep a job. In fact, the last job he had was as an assistant at City Hall working for Mike.
Oh, I thought you were going to say pit crew for Bobby, and he didn't tighten a lug nut. That's why he crashed as a paraplegic. That would have made more sense. Wally was in the pit crew that screwed over Bobby.
So he can't hold down a job. So Marcia and her husband Wally live with Mike and Carol, and they have started a catering business, which the other spouses who aren't screwed up are also a part of.
Okay.
Cindy is a radio host, but she is in love with her boss, who's 10 years older than she is.
Good Lord. Could they make this any more complicated? So let me try to think off my head. Okay. So we got alcoholism, right? Somewhere along the lines. Is that what Marcia's dealing with?
Yeah, Marcia is an alcoholic.
But she's got a deadbeat husband.
Right.
And they somehow live at home with political Mike and start a catering business.
Yes.
With the spouse of paraplegic Bobby, the abusive girlfriend of Peter, and then Jane's husband and the Korean baby are also a part of it because Jan is barren.
Yeah, Jan is barren. And I don't know what Cindy does on the radio.
Probably a radio psychiatrist for all the effed up stuff going on in her family.
Here's the cherry on top.
I was going to say.
In one unproduced script, had Mike Brady dying in a helicopter crash when he went to check out the progress of a fire, and the chopper got caught in a downdraft. And Jan would finally, with Carol singing at his funeral, Jan,
of course,
miraculously gets pregnant.
Oh.
And Peter then takes over Mike's position as city councilman, and the mobile trauma unit that he helped to build is being named after Mike. Holy shit.
Yes. Can I just say, though, a little bit of The Simpsons in telling the future? Because Kobe Bryant, unfortunately, with the helicopter thing. Then you got the Korean baby that was Modern Family, right?
Yeah.
They eventually, so they were kind of seeing into the future a little bit, despite being absolutely terrible.
The series aired on CBS from February 9th to March 9th. It made it for 6 episodes. Very first episode where Bobby becomes a paraplegic called Start Your Engines.
I'm assuming they probably lost a lot of viewership after that.
That's a tough way to come out the gate, right? The adorable youngest kid.
Right. Fiery crash. I mean, there's a lot of downers. What? By the way, did they tell? Why is Alice still there? Did she somehow did she use a meat cleaver and kill Sam the Butcher, or is she like what? I mean, what the hell's going on with her? We don't get any backstory on Alice.
That's a really good point, because Alice's purpose was to help maintain the house because there were so many people in there. Now it's just Mike and Carol and alcoholic Jan.
No, alcoholic Marcia.
Alcoholic Marcia.
Deadbeat Wally.
And Wally. You really don't need an Alice.
No, you don't need an Alice at that point. By the way, she didn't do a really good job of holding the family together, considering all the shit they're going through now.
God almighty.
And is Carol doing anything?
No.
She's just a politician's wife that would have sang at his funeral.
She's standing by waiting for Mike to die in a fiery helicopter crash so she can sing at the funeral.
God bless. How'd this make 6 episodes? I want to know.
Yeah. It's amazing. Apparently they released the DVD in 2019. The series was released on DVD as a part of the Brady's Brady Bunch TV and movie collection. If you're dying to see.
Yeah.
Although it had a very dramatic tone, it still had a laugh track.
You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that. Like, Bobby rolls into the house, be like, "Stairs, really, Mom and Dad? Sorry, we're not compliant yet, Bobby." You can't visit your old room. We're going to have to do, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, comment when this becomes out as a quickie. If we get enough likes, we should do a live react to the first episode.
Yeah, that's fine.
We should watch it all together online, do a live react of us watching it sight unseen to when Bobby gets in that fiery wreck.
God.
I'm
Awful.
down. I'm down.
Yeah,
Please like and subscribe.
I think it's
like and subscribe. Yeah, that is brilliant. Bring it home, Twismo.
And finally, this week in slow-mo.
Look at me, I'm like one of those dancing nuns.
This week in slow-mo that involves 14 elderly men on a big human seesaw.
Oh, God.
I guess all seesaws are human, but it's like this oversized thing that apparently you stand on and try to see if you can balance. So you know already what we're about to see.
Correct.
Right.
Lay it on me.
All right, so here we go. Let's watch what happens, and you can see it coming from a mile away.
Oh no! Oh Christ! Oh Christ! That one end really, that was bad.
Yeah.
That.
Oh, by
I
the
thought
way,
it was going to be the human dominoes, but it was worse.
Yeah, listen very closely at the end and see if you can hear somebody injured. Yeah, there it is.
Someone's old sports hernia came back. By the way, is that seesaw or teeter-totter?
What's the difference?
There is none. I just called it a teeter-totter growing up.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's watch at least the entire thing in slow motion, but then we need to kind of break down this absolute disaster in small pieces.
Oh no! Oh God! There's so much unpack there in slow-mo. Yeah. Like I know you do a great job of pinpointing it, but I just want to point out before we move on more, there was a lot of I'm going down and you're going down with me in this scenario.
Yeah.
Including the two mopes at the far end who were the first two to go, and the one just flips the other guy off like it's some type of lumberjack contest trying to stay on the log.
Yeah, the minute the log touches the ground, they make the fatal mistake of grabbing onto each other.
Correct.
With a death grip, apparently, because they all go down.
Except for like a couple of these guys.
Yeah.
I blame the man in the middle. He needs to be more offset. He's a little too much.
Guy here?
That guy right there. I think he's the main problem. He's the crux. He should be your level, and he's a little too far to one side. He needs to inch it back the other way.
Is the problem that they have 14 guys? They probably need 15, right? So they have 7 on each side and one guy in the middle.
Correct. Right. Exactly. That's the biggest issue.
Well, he goes down too. I mean, they all go down.
Now, right here, the guy in the... Oh, God. The first guy to go ass over elbows pulls those other two underneath, like the current with him.
Yeah.
Guy in blue.
This guy here is the first one to lose it. And what's funny is he as he goes down, he gets mounted by the guy in red.
Yes, exactly. It becomes a train right there. It's human centipede at this point. It stopped being a field trip and it became human centipede 4.
And this poor guy down here, he knows what his fate is.
And the guy with the walking stick there, he also ejects pretty quickly.
Yeah, there are several walking sticks. All right.
Oh, straight back. Oh. The walking stick goes akimbo as well.
Yeah. All right, so let's zoom in at the top of the heap here.
Please, let's do that.
Where most of the carnage happens. I mean, look at that pile. Look at that cutoff.
Look at. So the guy went from mounting the other guy. Is that the other guy's head in between his balls?
They flipped. Yeah, they 96'd. They didn't 69. They 96'd, I think.
That's oh God, sorry. I shouldn't be laughing at their pain so much, but
they got themselves into this situation.
They did, idiots.
So yeah, these two
mounted.
So these two have a moment together.
Those two lovebirds, but they stay joined.
But you're right. They flip positions on the way down. You keep your eye on them. He somehow ends up.
How does he end up balls deep in the other guy's face? Oh wow! Oh my goodness!
Yeah. So now we go mid shaft.
Okay. With the two walking stick brothers.
Yeah, so you got these guys with their walking sticks. Here's the guy that we were watching earlier in the middle.
The middleman.
Who, so the left side has already touched down, and now you see that they've all grabbed hands.
Not good. Middleman off, and walking stick goes flying. Oh, good Lord. There goes another one.
Yeah.
The smart ones are like, screw this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That really does get, you're right, the walking sticks go flying.
The middleman pulls down that poor guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's what I mean. They get a death grip on each other, and they don't let go, and it makes it worse.
It does. Because here comes the first walking stick
this
right
guy will
on the
not
right
let
side.
Go.
No. And he takes the guy to his left, our right side of the screen, with him, and that's when the first walking stick just flies off.
Right.
Right here, losing it. There it goes. Flying. Next one, walking stick, gone.
God, lucky nobody got stabbed with one of those things.
Correct. They flew pretty far there. That was a pretty big smack.
Now, at the end here, I thought he was kind of a George Costanza because he bails. And what I realized,
right away.
No, he's a hero because he breaks the chain.
Oh, yeah.
He breaks the chain. And were it not for him, they would all be down.
Okay. Yep, go.
And he's smart enough to go, I'm out.
I'm out. See you later, suckers. Oh, God. That one rolls down the hill. I didn't notice that the first 4 times we watched it.
Yeah.
I didn't see that poor bastard roll down the hill back there. Watch. As he jumps off, there he goes. Yeah. He tries to get up, and then he falls back again with his backpack. God bless.
And finally, these two bystanders who have to watch the whole thing. I mean, they are permanently scarred. They have absolute PTSD from now on because they had to watch the whole thing happen. And they're helpless. They're helpless. They can't do anything. As just
he immediately goes, I gotta protect myself. There's the 96ers. The other guy comes in and goes, boy, that sucked.
Yeah.
God bless. I want to know who made the sound. Comment below if you're watching this. Who do you think made the sound of the? I have to say it's one of the 96ers, right?
I think so.
They had the fullness, they fell.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's got to be one of these guys here, right?
Yeah, it's one of those 4.
Because he's spread. His balls are open. I mean, he is balls open right here.
Correct. But somehow he ends up with his balls in the other guy's face. The flip is what does it.
Hey, let me see if I can even go slower here because it's Because watch how he spreads his legs. It's just... I mean, he just presents himself to this poor guy.
Down goes the blue. Mm-hmm. This guy then falls, and yeah, he just says, opening, and bam. The worst. That's the thumbnail. That's the thumbnail. Right there, ladies and gentlemen. Not going to top that.
No, we're not.
No. I want to see how they flip, though. Keep it rolling. Because the blue goes down right here. So they fall. He goes on his back, but somehow he cartwheels over the top of him and lands right like that.
Yeah, because this is him, right?
Yes, that's him. And that's the guy he was behind originally. Now he's on top of that one. Jerry, are you trying to tell me something after all these years, bud?
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I bet those San Francisco DJs never saw anything like that.
Boom. Beat me to it. Pardon the pun, Mr. Pearson. Ranger Johnson coming in to handle the whole mess at the end.
Nightmare. Absolute stuff of nightmares.
Yeah. What do we learn, ladies and gentlemen, is make sure you got even numbers, and after a certain age, there's no seesawing.
Right.
Or teeter-tottering. You just stay on the ground. Thank you very much.
Man, you know what? I know we're running over time here, but I can't get over what exactly is this thing for? I mean, why does it exist?
It's probably one of those things it's on one of those nature trails where you can kind of Spartan race it as well, where it's like you can walk, but they also have an obstacle course type stuff. And so it's for people to maybe run up and like run down one person. Like you're walking to the trail like, oh, I'm going to run up and run down to add to my workout. It's not for 14 old men to stand on there and try to balance themselves.
What the hell were they doing?
Especially, no offense, but especially when 5 of them have walking sticks,
right.
Probably don't have the best sense of balance already. Just saying.
Yeah, it's amazing that nobody got stabbed.
Yeah, right. See, right here, that's the problem.
Yeah.
They pushed middle guy over too far, and then that was the end of it. By the way, could we just focus on quickly the guy in the bottom left of the screen? I know we're running a little long.
This fella here?
But this guy right here doesn't do dick for anyone. Doesn't care that they're falling. He's over this whole reunion. He just wants to get the F out of here.
I think he's carrying a camera. What's he got there?
I don't know, but he doesn't want any part of this. Normally, this guy goes back to try to help, and he just stands there like a dope and says, "You know what? I'm out of here."
I think he's paralyzed. I think he's paralyzed from fear.
That could be deer in the headlights. He can't believe what he's seeing.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
And he just leaves.
Yeah.
And he just leaves. And there they go.
Oh, God.
I'm so transfixed by the two that everything else, that's the only thing I can see anymore is the end. I can't even pay attention to all the stuff that's happening at this end. Yeah. It's those two dopes at the end there that really steal the show here. Yeah. So
they did a 96. All right.
Yes, they did.
That was wonderfully ridiculous. I'm glad.
It was. It's what we need. That's why we're here. Mike and Molson, Mangle the News. Share the videos. Tell your friends. Give us a like. Share, subscribe. The likes really help out. Gets us up in the algorithm. So appreciate you tuning in and doing all that for us.
We're back next Wednesday at 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central on YouTube, Facebook, and what's the other one? Twitch.
Yeah, that's why I did that.
Twitch. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Twitch.
Yeah.